So in this video, I'm going to cover network architecture, your part 2, activity 3. So far in the previous 2 videos, I've had a look at activities 1 and activity 2. Today, I'm going to have a look at activity 3. So activity 3 now is asking me to go and perform the task on Active Directory Domain Controller. In other words, this means I need to be working on my server virtual computer. So again, I would go into my labs. So Azure Labs, I will start my Azure Practical Lab computer. Then I would connect to the computer. And then once I've connected to the computer, it's going to give me the remote desktop connection. So I'm going to connect to the remote desktop. And then I'm going to open up Hyper-V and I'm going to be starting working with my server. Now, also, as I'm going along, I'm taking the relevant screenshots to prove that I have completed the task successfully. And I write a little note as to what it is that is going on in that screenshot. So this now I can see is my lab computer. I'm now going to open up Hyper-V Manager. And in my Hyper-V Manager, I look for my virtual computer that I'm using. So because I'm teaching different courses, I've got network architecture, I've got NTAD, I've got CNOS, okay? So for this course, it is network architecture, NWAR5122, and it is my server machine that I'm looking for. So I highlight that one, I connect to it, and then I start it. Because they said these tasks I need to perform on my server machine. Sometimes some of us might make the mistake of opening up the client computer, and then from the client computer, we try to find it, but we cannot find it, okay? In other words, we try to find Active Directory in your Windows 10 computer, it's not there, right? You'll only find Active Directory where? In your Server 2016 computer. So I'll log on now to my server computer. And in my server computer, I'm now going to start performing the tasks. So they said I needed to create an organizational unit, and then I needed to create other organizational units inside of that. Let me just go and have a look at the question. So the question now is saying, create OU students and then OU business technology design and groups. Okay, so students, business technology design and groups. So I'm going to go inside my server and I'm going to go to my server manager. From the server manager, I'm then going to open up Active Directory users and computers. So I'm going to go to tools on the top here and I'm going to look for Active Directory users and computers. And once I've opened up Active Directory users and computers, I'm going to click on my domain. Now, to create organizational units, I can click on the domain. I click on where I want to create the organizational unit. So I click on my domain, which is Subain N. And from there, I then click on create organizational unit in the current container. So if I click on that, then I can say OU student, OU underscore student. Okay, and I'm going to take the tick out from protect from accidental deletion. The reason I'm going to do that is because if I make a mistake, let's say now I'll make a mistake just now. So currently I'm in the OU student. Then inside that OU, I'm going to create OU underscore business. And then okay, for this one, I'm not going to take the tick out and watch what's going to happen just now, right? If I have made a mistake, let's say, for example, I go now and I create an organizational unit and it's OU technology. Now, this OU technology is supposed to be created inside OU business, OU student, not inside OU business. So I made a mistake. So now, if I make a mistake like this and if I try to move it to OU student, it gives me an error here. It says that you cannot move it, right? Because access is denied. Why? Because the tick was there for prevent from accidental deletion. So in this case, what I would need to do now is I would need to go to view on the top here, and then I would click on advanced features. Now, when I've got advanced features enabled, I will go to that OU students. I will go to OU business, OU technology, and then I'll go to the properties of OU technology. Okay. I can right click on it and I can go to its properties. And then I can click on the object and I can take the tick out from protect object from accidental deletion. Can you see? Right? So now, if I do that, it will now permit me to move this to the correct place. So I can simply left click, drag and drop, and you can see it's now putting it under the student OU. All right. So this is a common mistake that many of us might make because we're not clicking on the correct OU in which I want to create the sub OUs. Okay. So I can go to view now. It looks very complicated. I can take out the advanced features. All right. So it looks less complicated now. So what do they tell me to create in my assignment or in part 2? OU business, OU technology, OU design, and OU groups. Design and groups. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go to OU student. And now under OU student, I'm going to create OU design and OU groups. So I click again, OU design. And OU groups. And they give us a picture here, right? This is what it must look like. So I'm going to go back to my computer and OU groups. See, I click on student first, then I click on create organizational unit and I say OU groups. And I say okay. So now I can see there's the structure that they wanted me to create. OU student, OU business, technology, design, and groups. Again, I'm working in Active Directory, users and computers. So even if you don't find Active Directory and computers, it means you didn't do part 1 of the activity 1. You have to do the activities in order. You have to do activity 1, then you have to do activity 2, then you have to do activity 3. Okay, so you cannot jump around because it will not work and you will not find the things that you are looking for. So then it says task 2, create the users in the OU design, Okay, so I need to create some users in OU design. So where would I go now? So I'll go back here. I will click on OU design. Once I have OU design highlighted, then I'm going to click here to create a user. Right? So they've given me some users. I'm going to create my own. So right, so I'm creating my user, Donald Duck, and I'm giving it a password. And then I'm going to put on password never expires. Okay. Because I don't want to have password problems. So I'm just going to put password never expires. And then I'm going to go next, and I'm going to go finish. So I've created in design, Donald Duck. I'm going to create another user. So I click on design again, click on another user. Or you can actually duplicate a user as well. So here you can copy, right? So it gives you certain settings that will be the same. So next user is Mickey Mouse. So now that is how I create my users. Can you see it says password never expires because I copied the account settings, right? So I type in my password. And then next, and I've created now the next user. So they said I must create how many users there? 3 users. You have to do according to the names that they have given you, okay? I am doing it according, I'm just showing you how it needs to be done, all right? Additionally, configure the users to log on weekdays from 8 to 5. Weekdays from 8 to 5. So this is now log on hours. So I need to go to the user. If I double click on the user, it opens up the user's properties, right? If I go to the account tab, you will see it has something called logon hours. If I click on logon hours, it then allows me, this user can log on to all computers, okay? So that is fine. All computers, log on workstations, all computers. Right, log on to log on hours. Log on hours. What did they say in the 8 to 5 on weekdays? Weekdays. So this person, if they come on the weekend and they try to log on, not going to allow them, right? So weekdays from 8 to 5. So I can go here now, and I go and I look, weekday is Monday, right? I look for 8 o'clock, okay, permitted. So I'm going to say, I'll highlight all of it first, and I'll say logon is denied. And now I'm going to highlight what I want, Monday, 8 o'clock. So I look for Monday, 8 o'clock. There's it there. And then I'm going to drag now, left click, and I'm going to drag till Friday, 5 o'clock. Okay. And I'm going to release it. Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Then I'm going to put a tick here, log on permitted. Can you see? Right? So it's like playing a game, highlighting game, right? So you highlight now, and it tells you here from Monday through Friday, this user, Mickey Mouse, is allowed to log on. Can you see? And then you say okay, and then okay again. Now, what else do they tell me to do? So task 2, I've created the following users, and I've configured the logon hours from 8 to 5 p.m. Task 3, it says create the following groups in the OU groups. So I need to now go and create some groups in OU groups. What are the groups called? Group student, group business, group technology, group design. So I go to the OU called groups. So I go to my OU called groups. And inside this OU, I need to create some groups. So I highlight OU groups and I go to the top here. It says create a new group. And this one is called group underscore what tech. And then here you can see it tells me whether it is a global, universal, security, or distribution group. Okay. So according to this question, it says create a group called technology. It must be global, global. So technology must be global, global. Technology must be global, and then it must be security group, right? That global, global is a mistake. It must be, as I'm doing it, security group, right? And then I'll say, okay. Then I'll create another group here. What's the next one? GRP design. Now, what must the design group be? The design group must be global, global. This is also global security, or it can be global distribution, but we're going to use all of them as security groups, okay? Because there isn't a group type here that says global. It's either security or distribution, so this is a mistake here. We're going to make it all security, all right? So then I would go back here, and I'm going to create design group, global security. Okay. What's the next two groups I need to create? I click on new group, GRP underscore. What is the group? Business and students. Students, they say, must be universal group. Okay. So let's create students group, which must be universal. So students. Here I can select now universal. And I'm leaving all the group types as distribution. Only one of two. You're going to just use this, security. Okay. I'll click OK. And then I'll create my last group here, which is business. So GRP underscore business. And this is also a global group. And I'm going to say OK. So it tells me here what type of a group it is. Can you see? The group, it says it's a security group. It's a global, security, universal, security, global. Can you see? Right? So it tells me all the different types of groups that have been created. I go back to my assignment, add the created users to the relevant group. Okay. Add the group business, group technology, group design to the group students group. Okay. So add the created users to the relevant group. How do I know which is the relevant group now? Design. So these are people from the design OU. So I'm going to add them to the design group. Okay. So the users needs to be added to the design group. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to the design group. Where's my design group? And I'm going to add my users. So I'm going to go to the properties of the group. So I can double click or I can right click and go to the properties of the group. And then I'm going to click on the members tab and I'm going to say add. Now I've created two users. I'm going to type the first name and then I'm going to search Donald. And I'm going to say check names. It's going to find Donald Duck. Then I'm going to type, what was the other user? Mickey. Mickey, and I'm going to say check names. And it finds Mickey Mouse for me. Can you see? Right? So I'm simply typing the first name and I say check names. It automatically goes and finds the account for me. And then I say, okay. So now I've added my two users to the design group. And I'm going to say, okay. That's the first thing that they said I needed to do. Then they say I needed to add the groups here. to the students group. So the next way to add users or groups to other groups is to go to the actual group itself and add it. So I'll show you the next way now. So the other way I can go and do this now is I can go to group business and I can right click on it and I can say add to group. To which group must I add? I must add it to the students group. So I'm going to type in student and I'm going to say check names. Now it says it cannot find student, right? So I'm going to now, instead I'm going to click on advanced, right? And it's going to be GRP, right? Underscore ST something. And I'm going to say find now. Can you see it's finding the group students? Because I didn't type the name correctly, that's why I didn't find it, right? And I'm going to say okay. And then I'm going to say that student, other one student there must come out, right? It must be added to group student. And I'll say okay. So add group operation was successfully completed. I've added business to student. I'm also going to add design to student, add to group, and I'm going to remember to type correctly now, student, check names. It's found the student, it's added it, and I'm going to add group tech, add to group, and GRP underscore student. Check names, it finds the student group, and then I say okay. Now, if I want to check if these groups have been added, I would double click on students group and I'll go to members. Can you see there's all the members there? Okay. So I know this has been done. Let me go back to my assignment. So added the users to the relevant group. I added the users to the design group. Add these groups to the student groups. Right. Now I need to take the screenshots. All right. Task 1, created OUs and sub-OUs. So I'm going to now go to my assignment document, part 2 document, and it says for activity 2, sorry, activity 3 now, there's activity 2. These are the screenshots that I took in the last video. This is activity 3, right? So for activity 3 now, so for activity 3, it says, task 1, create OUs and sub-OUs. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to put my screenshots just now. Task 2, I must create. So as you can see, I'm now creating my document that contains my answers. Right. Create OUs and sub-OUs. I need to take a screenshot to show that I've created the OUs and sub-OUs. I go to my computer. I'm going to open up now also my snipping tool. So snip, so that I can take the relevant pictures. Okay. Now created OU and sub-OUs. Remember also, whenever you are taking your screenshots, like here, for example, I can't see the full name of my server. So what am I doing? I'm going to maximize the screen here, and then I'm going to drag this one here. So I can see Active Directory is for Subain N server 2016 subainn.com, right? My name is there. Every screenshot that I take, I need to prove it is done on my computer, right? With my name. Very important, okay? So I go now and I can see, okay, you won't take a screenshot like this because it doesn't show all the OUs, right? You will take a screenshot where it's expanded and you can see the OUs on both sides. Can you see? The OUs have been created. Now I will go to my snipping tool and I'll say new snip. And then I'm going to drag across like that so that all the info is there. Then I will go into my Word document where I need to put my answer. And I'll then write a note here. OUs created, student OU. So student OU and sub OUs created, which sub OUs? You will say the sub OUs, business, tech, etc. Student OU and sub OUs, business, tech, design, and that created. So every time we take a screenshot and we put it there, we also write a little note to say what is being shown in the screenshot, right? What is being shown in the screenshot. Then task 2, it said I needed to create the users. I need to go take a screenshot of the users that have been created. So let me go to my computer. Where did I create the users? In the design group, right? So in the design group, I've created the users. You need to create all of the users. Again, to create the users, I clicked on create new user. I gave them a name. Who's the other cartoon characters? Who? Bugs Bunny. Very good. Extra points. Bugs Bunny. So Bugs B. Password does not expire. And then password. Right. So once I've done that, now I'm going to take my screenshot. I'm going to go to my snipping tool, new, and I'm going to drag across again. And there's my users that have been created. I go into my document and I paste, and then I write some story here, which is the description. Then next one, it says logon hours. Configure the logon hours. So where did I go to configure the logon hours? I went to the user's properties. So I can double click on the user. I went to the account, and then I went to logon hours. I highlighted everything, right? And then I said it's denied. Then I highlighted from Monday, 8 o'clock until Friday, 5 o'clock. This says 7 o'clock, so I need to change this to 8 o'clock. To 5 o'clock. Right, so it's saying it correctly here, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. And I'm going to say logon hours is permitted, right? So then I'm going to take my screenshot. So logon hours for the user account, and then I'm going to, I want this one. I'm going to move this window around so that I can see my Subain N is on the top there, right? Then I'm going to click on Logon hours, and then I'm going to say for Bugs Bunny, right? There's the Logon hours, and I can see that the Logon hours is configured from Monday 8 a.m. I need to highlight it, right? Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5, Logon is permitted, right? Now, can you see how I rearrange the windows so I can see my names? Okay. Then I'm going to go to my snipping tool, and I'm going to take a snip that shows all the information that I need. And then I go to my document and I paste it. Logon hours is configured. And then add the users to the relevant OUs. So here, add the users to the relevant OUs. Add the users to the relevant OU. We created the users in the design OU. Let's just have a look. Yeah. So they told us to create the users in the design OU. So I'm going to say OK here. I'm going to close this one. And then I'm going to, yeah, this is the screenshot there already, right? Design OUs, the relevant users. So then I'm going to take the same screenshot. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to write a story here or a description. Next one, it says create the relevant groups. So then I go back. Where's the groups? So on the groups, I've created the relevant groups. So I click on groups, then I take my screenshot. So I've got the groups. It must show global security groups, universal, etc. Okay. So I'm going to select all of them, and then I'm going to go and paste, create the groups. Okay, next one, it says add the users to the correct groups. So I added the users to the design group. So I'm going to go back to my design group here now. Groups, I'm going to go into design group. I'm going to go to the members tab. There's the users. I needed to also add Bugs Bunny. So Bugs. If you put Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, you will get 0 for this question, right? Because it says you were not following your assignment instructions, okay? So I can see there's the members now. I'm going to drag this window down so that it shows me the rest of the information. Then I'm going to take my screenshot. So now I take my screenshot. And then I go here and I paste. Create nested groups as required. Nested group simply means one group inside another group. We took some of the groups and we put it into the students group. Okay, so we're going to go to the students group now. Let's go to the students group. So we're done with that one, students group, and click on members. Can you see? So when you put one group inside other groups, it's called a nested group. So this is the screenshot that we need to now take. So I go and take a snip here. And then it says the OU strategy is clear and logical and follows best practices of name conventions. There's nothing that you need to do for this one, right? Because name convention simply means that you've used OU business to indicate it's an organizational unit. You've used GRP business to indicate it's a group, right? So that if you've named it according to what they said in the assignment, you will automatically be given your 2 marks for this one. Screenshots show the server's name, right? In POE background above, there's no evidence of this. The entire question is awarded 0 marks. Can you see how I was moving my windows around, right? So that you can see everything, and I was taking the correct screenshots. That's exactly what you need to do. So anything else for this question? That's our 10 marks for this question. Okay, so this demo showed you how to complete network architecture task activity 3, tasks 1, 2, and 3, and then how to take the relevant screenshots and save it in your part 2 document that you're going to be submitting.